Hello boys, welcome back to another session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 12th biology students, and this is for 9th October 2020. And as I promised you in my previous session, we are going through today what is called pedigree analysis. And I said that this is not only in theory, this is also in practicals. So you start off with the aim to understand the pedigree analysis with the help of a chart. This is your aim. And materials required, of course, already a prepared chart is there with us in our lab. And you need to observe the diagrams drawn on the chart like this, and you have to interpret. So this is what procedure. So first you write aim. Aim is to understand the pedigree analysis, and second, and of course predicting the possible gene response for is it autosomal inheritance or allosomal inheritance. And materials required, of course, only one chart you require. It's ready-made chart. And the third is the procedure, that you observe the pattern. And what is that you have to observe in any pedigree chart? As it is written, pedigree chart displays a family tree and shows the members of the family who are affected by a genetic trait. This chart shows 4 generations of a family with 4 individuals who are affected by a form of color blindness. Okay, so in the chart a diagram like this will be there, and you must know the basic things in any diagram, in any given diagram. So first one is circles represent females. Look at this, circles represent females and squares represent males, and each individual is represented by Roman numericals. Here see Roman 1, 2, 3, 4 Roman letters. So this stands for generation in the family. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, like this. A digit which stands for the individual within the generation. Here this digit is there, 1, 2. That means first generation, first one is female. First generation, second one is male, like that. For instance, the female at the upper left is individual 1, 1, Roman letter 1 and normal digit 1. Next, a darkened circle like this. You see 1, 2 darkened circle, or a square. Here you can see square or a circle. It's a square, it's a circle. Indicates or represents an individual affected by the trait. So that means deceased. And then the founding parents in this family are the female 1, 1 and male 1, 2 in the first generation at the top. This is the one. This is female, this is male, father and mother. A male and female directly connected by a horizontal line have mated and have children. You can see this horizontal line. This horizontal line connecting the male and female indicates that they have mated and they have children. These 3 pairs have mated in this tree. So here you can see Roman letter 1, 1 and 2. Roman letter 2, it is 2 and 3. 2 and 3. This one, 2 and 3. And Roman letter 3, 2 and 3. This one again. So this is indication of mating and having children. Vertical lines connect parents to their children. So this is a vertical line, parents connected to children. This is a vertical line, this is a vertical line. For instance, the females, second Roman letter 1 and 2 are daughters of Roman letter 1 of 1 and 2. So these are the 2 daughters of these 2 parents. Understood? So the founding family consists of 2 founding parents. Who are those founding parents? This Roman letter 1, 1 and 2 are the founding parents and their children. 2 Roman letter 2, 1 and 2 are the children, these 2 daughters. So basically what you need to understand when you look at the chart is that circles are females, squares are males. If either circle or square is blackened, it is affected, means deceased. And sometimes there will be lines also, like you got something like square, circle with lines like this. That means this is a carrier. It's called carrier. So sometimes carrier also will be there. That particular individual is not affected with the disease, but it is carrying that potential disease, the gene for causing the disease. So vertical lines, horizontal lines, all this, that gives a tree. So in this pedigree, the unaffected founding mother, who is that? Roman letter 1, this one, unaffected founding mother, and affected founding father, this one, 1, 2, are parents to two affected daughters. Unfortunately, they produced 2 daughters, and both the daughters in Roman letter 2, this one, this daughter is also affected, this daughter also affected, unfortunately. The affected founding daughters, Roman letter 2 of the 2, and the unaffected male, this one. So this man, this gentleman married this lady who is affected, married into the family, have 2 offsprings. So these 2 are having 2 offsprings, 1 male and 1 female. An unaffected daughter, okay, as an unaffected daughter, as you are saying, and affected son. So son is affected. Finally, this affected male, this fellow, affected male, has married unaffected female. That is 3, 2, 3, 2, unaffected, and having a children. They have got a son. That is Roman letter 4, 1. So pedigrees are interesting because they can be used to do some detective work, and are often used to study the genetics of inherited diseases. For example, pedigrees can be analyzed to determine mode of transmission for genetic diseases. That's why I said that this will be of great help for us. So this is all come under procedure and description. After that, your observation. What do you observe from this? There, in your observation, you have to write in generation 1, first generation, how many are affected and who is affected. Is it mother or father or male or female? Second generation, third generation. This is observation of the chart based on your chart. And after observation, conclusion. What do you conclude? In your conclusion, you have to write whether it is dominant, that is autosomal dominant or X-linked dominant. Second, recessive, autosomal recessive or sex-linked recessive or X-linked recessive. So how to do that? How we come to know that it is autosomal or X-linked? So dominance, whether the disease alleles are dominant or recessive, and linkage, whether the disease alleles are X-linked on the X chromosome or autosomal. So some of the definitions will go before you write your conclusion. The 22 chromosome pairs other than the XX in female and XY in male sex chromosomes. And hemizygous, males are hemizygous for X-linked genes. Males only have 1 X chromosome, as all of us know, and 1 allele of any X-linked gene. Allele is a version of a gene. Humans have 2 alleles of all their autosomal genes. Females have 2 alleles of X-linked genes because they have 2 XX chromosomes. Males have only 1 allele of X-linked genes and 1 allele of course, Y-linked genes. So pedigree analysis is an example of abductive reasoning. In pedigree analysis, you need to look for any clues that will allow you to decide if the trait is dominant or recessive and whether it is linked to autosomal chromosome or X chromosome. So on the following page, let's see how we can do the puzzles. So general assumptions. What are the general assumptions? In the problem that follow, you will be reasoning about the mode of transmission of genetic traits that are controlled by one gene with two alleles, a dominant allele and a recessive allele. We also make these simplifying assumptions. Complete penetrance. An individual in the pedigree will be affected, express the phenotype associated with the trait when the individual carries at least one dominant allele of a dominant trait or two recessive alleles of a recessive trait. Rare in population. In each problem, the trait in question is rare in the general population. Assume of the purposes of these problems that individuals who marry into the pedigree in the second and third generations are not carriers. This does not apply to founding parents. Either or both the individuals at the top of the pedigree could be carriers, not Y-linked. The causative genes in these problems may be either autosomal or X-linked, but not Y-linked. Now, whenever you look at the pedigree chart, you need to look for the key clues, 5 key clues. What are the 5 key clues? These are the 5 things to remember in reasoning about pedigrees. First one, an unaffected individual cannot have any alleles of a dominant trait. Unaffected individual, because a single allele of a dominant trait causes an individual to be affected. Second clue, individuals marrying into the family are assumed to have no disease alleles. They will never be affected and can never be carriers of a recessive trait because the trait is rare in the population. Third clue, an unaffected individual can be carrier, have one allele of a recessive trait because 2 alleles of a recessive trait are required for an individual to be affected. Fourth clue, when trait is X-linked, a single recessive allele is sufficient for male to be affected because the male is hemizygous. He only has one allele of an X-linked trait. And most important, fifth clue, a father transmits his allele of X-linked gene to his daughters. Father is giving to daughters, but not his sons. See, father has got lot of affection for sons. And a mother, on the other hand, transmits allele of X-linked gene to both her daughters and son. She doesn't show any difference. So, key patterns in pedigree analysis. Patterns that indicate recessive trait. So first one, you can just observe it. So you got a female, circle is a female, square is a male. If it is blank, they are healthy. If it is blocked, they are affected. So the disease must be recessive if any affected individual has 2 unaffected parents. Look at this. Unaffected parents, unaffected parents, unaffected parents. So disease must be recessive. If the disease must be recessive if any affected individual has 2 unaffected parents. Since this is a genetic disease, at least one parent must have an allele for the disease. If neither parent is affected, the trait cannot be dominant. So please remember this, and then we'll go to the next. Autosomal recessive. Autosomal recessive. Patterns that indicate recessive trait. We are continuing. Autosomal. If the affected founding daughter has 2 unaffected parents, the disease must be autosomal recessive. So unaffected and daughter. An affected individual must inherit a recessive allele from both the parents. So both the parents must have an allele. If the father had recessive X-linked allele, he would have to be affected since he only has X-linked allele. And if the affected founding son has 2 unaffected parents, we cannot determine if the recessive disease is autosomal or X-linked. If the trait is autosomal, both parents can be unaffected carriers of the disease. If the trait is, on the other hand, X-linked, son must have inherited his allele from his mother only, just now I said, and his father can be unaffected. Now, what about X-linked? X-linked recessive. When an affected non-founding son has two unaffected parents, okay, what is saying? Affected non-founding son has two unaffected parents, the disease must be X-linked. X-linked. The father who is marrying in, this fellow, he is marrying in, does not have any disease allele since he is marrying into the family. So the affected son inherits an allele only from his unaffected mother. She is a carrier. A male cannot be affected by a single autosomal recessive allele but can be affected by a single X-linked recessive allele. Now what about dominance? we have been talking about the recessive. Here, dominant trait. The disease must be dominant if every affected child of non-founding parents has an affected parent. Look at this. The disease must be dominant if every affected child, look at this, every affected child of non-founding parents has an affected parent. Now the unaffected mother who is marrying in, look at this, this is unaffected mother who is marrying in does not carry an allele for the disease. So the affected child inherits an allele only from the affected father. So here father is giving to the son as well as this. So no child could be affected by a single autosomal recessive allele or X-linked recessive. So the trait is dominant. When an affected son of non-founding parents has an affected father, the disease must be autosomal dominant. So here a father does not transmit X-linked alleles to son, just now we said. So the disease cannot be X-linked dominant. When an affected daughter like this of non-founding parents has an affected father, look at this, father is affected, we cannot determine whether the dominant disease is autosomal or X-linked. But the affected father can transmit either an autosomal dominant allele or X-linked dominant allele to his daughter. So this is how we analyze by having that deductive logic, and you conclude, you will write the conclusion based on the observations with deductive reasoning. Your conclusion should be, is it autosomal dominant or autosomal recessive, or X-linked dominant or X-linked recessive. So the chart will be there with a lot of variations, and remember, every individual student will have separate chart for this, and this is normally in spottings it will come in your experiment, and it is worth to say 2 to 3 marks. Hence keep practicing. Lot of questions will be there on this, even in theory. I'll be posting in our group, solve them and answer to me. Until then, keep